Now then, hello folks and welcome back to my video gaming channel Retro Gamer Diaries. Today we are talking about the 1988 ZX Spectrum game Afterburner. Now Afterburner by Activision is not the first big Sega arcade game that has been ported onto the Speccy hardware. I mean, we also had the mighty Outrun by US Gold and also Hang On by Electric Dream Software, which I also recently reviewed. These Sega classics would certainly sell at hotcakes, so who would blame Activision for developing the brilliant Afterburner game? But before we get into the Speccy game, let's start by having a look at the 1987 arcade version. Obviously, it's more than unfair to expect the ZX Spectrum hardware to compete against the technical advances of the Sega arcade hardware, but it's also important that the game captures the overall spirit and gameplay of its arcade cousin. I mean, despite the fact it is a Speccy, you still need to feel that you're playing that Afterburner game. So, okay, Afterburner is a rail shooter arcade video game developed and released by Sega in 1987. I have to say, I did enjoy the game when it came out, but I did get killed quite a lot. I found the game a little bit fast and difficult, but it was good. Anyway, you basically control an American F-14 Tomcat fighter jet and must clear each of the game's 18 unique stages by destroying the incoming enemies. The plane is equipped with a machine gun and limited supply of heat-seeking missiles, and the game uses a third-person perspective. Afterburner is designed by Sega veteran Yu Suzuki, the Sega Daddy, and also Sega M2 division, let's not forget them as well. It's fair to say that Suzuki was very much inspired by the 1986 film Top Gun, and he therefore designed his game with that in mind to make the game approachable for the worldwide audiences. Such a great game, and particularly when you got into that cabinet, you really were Maverick when you got into that cabinet, it was brilliant. Soon afterwards, he then released Afterburner 2, he released it in fact in the same year. Afterburner was a worldwide commercial success. It became Japan's second highest grossing large arcade game of 1987 and the overall arcade game of 1988, as well as among America's top 5 highest grossing dedicated arcade games of 1988. Afterburner was acclaimed by critics for its impressive visuals, gameplay and overall presentation, and has seen as being important and influential. It was followed by a series of sequels and ports including the wonderful ZX Spectrum. So let's have a look at the Speccy game now, yeah? Oh, for crying out loud. Now I really wish I hadn't shown that arcade game. It makes this game look like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Alright, look, let's pull ourselves together. Let's try and remember that this is a Speccy game and not an expensive arcade game. Firstly, one of the glaring features missing from the arcade to Speccy port is the uber cool hydraulic cockpit while playing the game. I do recognise that was an obvious observation, but I had to say it. And if you want to replicate this type of feeling in the arcade, then I would recommend that you place yourself in a wash machine, press the spin button while playing the game. That will make it a real dream to play for you. Actually, for me, Afterburner on the Speccy does well in the graphics department. Even in its Speccy conversion, the speed at which sprites move across the screen is pretty good. What's impressive is that as your F-14 bangs, the ground and all the objects scattered also tilt accordingly, requiring the rotation of all the sprites. The actual mathematical calculations involved here are mind-boggling. Pretty good so far, Speccy, so far so good. Now okay, as you can imagine, the colour does take a backseat once again. It's to be expected with the colour palette of a Speccy. The game is fast. In fact, it's so fast that you'll often find yourself obliterated without even knowing what hit you. However, the problem lies in the lack of substantial gameplay. Your guns fire automatically and missiles lock onto targets as soon as your sights pass over them. So essentially, all you have to do is dodge enemy fire and occasionally launch a missile. While this simplicity may appeal to some players, after a few minutes, I found myself pounding my fist on the keyboard, demanding more from the game and longing for a deeper experience. However, I would also say that that was also the case for the arcade version of the game, but that's my opinion anyway. But I must admit, I am in awe of the sheer power of the graphics routines. However, what truly astonishes me about Afterburner is its complete lack of addictive qualities. Well, at least not many addictive qualities. I suppose there might be a few of you who would want to keep playing to explore all the different levels and experience the refueling sequences. But honestly, the game doesn't offer much beyond the shooting aspects, making it somewhat lackluster in terms of overall enjoyment. So what's my overall thoughts of Afterburner on the ZX Spectrum? Well, if you're tempted to purchase Afterburner for its speed and impressive graphics, then please go ahead. However, for me it's important to note that these enticing additions are merely masking a significant deficiency in the terms of content. It may sound harsh, but that's my opinion. I wouldn't say that Afterburner was my most favourite Sega arcade game either, but it did have excitement and adrenaline pumping. So while the Speccy game is undeniably a technically brilliant conversion, it falls short in terms of depth and unable to compensate the thrills of the original, even while playing in a washing machine. Therefore, I'm going to rate this game 7 out of 10 stars. Not a bad review, and it's definitely worth an hour of your time to play. Okay folks, that's my short review of the ZX Spectrum game Afterburner. If you liked this video, then please press like. However, it would be great as always if you could subscribe to my new channel and become part of the gang. So go on, press that subscribe button. Until my next game review, have a great day people and get yourself out that wash machine. Bye bye.